the entire city, which is fantastic. And I think that we're going to be able to fill that hopefully this week or next week. So we're on our way to be fully staffed, knock on wood. We recently hired 2 recreation leaders for summer camp. We also hired a parking enforcement official, official. They've been on the staff for about a month, but we haven't met, so that's the new ones for you. Some projects that I've been working on, we've been talking a lot about training, so I've taken a deeper dive in what we can do. I've seen a lot of training for ICMA, but it is pretty spendy, unfortunately, so we'd have to look at that. However, at the last HR Consortium meeting, they're talking about some training for all of Pinellas County leaders so we can all get together, bounce ideas off of each other, and have more of a curriculum for managers, which would be definitely cheaper than the ICMA route. So I have a bullet point list of here. That's the first couple of topics that they've kind of talked about. It's a work in progress. We've only really had one meeting about it. So I can definitely update you guys once we have more of a thought on what that's going to be. We're also doing Integris training, which is our IT provider. It used to be Network People. They send out a monthly training on cybersecurity for anybody who has access to a computer, so we can make sure to keep updated on that. And it'll also satisfy our insurance requirement on cybersecurity training. See, the compensation and classification study, the BOC is still talking about that. They had a hang up over the job description cost, so I think they're kind of weighing out those options, and hopefully we'll make a decision so we can move forward from there. Updated travel policy, the mileage has gone up slightly, so we went ahead and amended our travel form, which is in circulation now. However, there's a new form that's attached here that'll give the what's it called, the GSA rate, or the GSA rate, which is the General Services Administration for the per diem. So it's a little bit more fair if, say, we're going to Miami, because you can't really get lunch for $10 in Miami. Let's see. Mr. Eschenfelder was nice enough to put the paternity and maternity clause in our handbook. Everything looks good to me. We're working with finance right now on the fiscal impact. Hopefully I'll have that for you guys in the next meeting. I should have had that today, so I apologize. There's 2 things that popped up this week that I recently sent Rob an email, so I don't think he's been able to prepare this for us. But certifications have been brought up and repayment. So some of the certifications are very minimal in cost, like a couple $100s, but some can cost up to like $3,000, just depending on what type of certification. And for those, we would really like to have almost an agreement that says you're going to get the certification in a certain amount of time. This is the type that's required, and if you voluntarily separate from the city, you're required to pay it back. So something along those lines. And it's kind of the same verbiage as the tuition reimbursement. So we're just going to add some verbiage there for certifications. And then the other one is PTO full-time to part-time. What do we do with their accrual for PTO? So what I talked with finance, and what we would like to see is basically it would be like a separation from the city. We would pay you for your annual time. You would lose your floating holidays, and you get paid 25% of your sick time. So we would be adding that in there as well if you guys are okay with it. For people who are going from full-time to part-time. We recently had one, yeah. Some other things that are being researched, I kind of have a running list of anything that you guys want me to look at. So I'm still looking into exit surveys, employee satisfaction surveys, a social media policy, a phone policy. The phone policy, I really just want to add verbiage as a stipend that you can use your personal phone and you're aware that we have public records and all of that jazz. Let's see. Trying to narrow down the PTO donation, still working with the HR Consortium on that. I think we're all kind of on the same boat and trying to change everybody's. And then I have a new rep for Paycom, so I kind of am starting over with the online onboarding, unfortunately. But I should be having a meeting in the next 2 weeks with our new rep and hopefully start again. And that's all I got.
So with the certification, are you talking about like the city requires you to get a certification to hold your position?
In some cases, yes. For example, our Public Works Director, she was required to get her master's degree within a certain amount of time, and we did put that in her offer letter, but I would like, if something arises, that we can do just like a contractual agreement.
Well, I mean, so let's talk about that for a second with only two members present, but still. So if it is a requirement for the job, like I'm a lawyer, so I'm required to have a license with the Florida Bar. But if you require your Director of Public Works to have a master's degree, why is that? Well, first of all, that would fall under your tuition reimbursement.
Correct.
That's not really a certification.
I think it's actually Laura's certification that she recently did. She's looking to do some certification for deputy clerk, correct?
No, it's nothing to do with deputy clerk. The administrative assistant. They offer a certification for administrative assistant.
So it's not really required,
So she's
just
an
training.
administrative assistant, and Robin, we had a birthday one day, and he said that we pay for those, but if it's like college or whatever, you can have the opportunity, but I guess it's like a reimbursement or something?
Tuition is a reimbursement. I think more the certification is we don't want you to get a certification and leave like the next week because you have it for a better
Well,
job.
but see, there's a distinction between certifications that are required for the job and certifications that are not.
Sure.
So if they're required for the job, then just like with tuition, which is really focused on, like we don't pay for you to go get a degree in anything. We pay for, it's got to be related to your job duties.
Correct.
And so with a certification, if we require it for your job, then we would, you could just do a contract document, like I did this for Kenneth City with police officers, where they pay for them to go through the academy or whatever, and then they end up leaving Kenneth City to go to the sheriff's office, and Kenneth City has spent all the money. So I did a contract that basically said, if you leave, you pay back, and then there's a graduating, step down. If you leave within this period, you owe half of it back. If you leave within this period, you owe a third of it back, until you've stayed long enough to
Sure.
where you don't owe any of it back. But if it's a certification that's not required for the job, why are the taxpayers paying for that?
It's more training and just understanding new innovative ways, I guess. Would depend on each department. For example, I know code enforcement has done a lot of training in their new boat that they've gotten. So obviously they have to be certified to use the boat and stuff like that.
Well, but so that should be a job requirement, and it should be in the job description, that to be a blank, you need to be certified in blank.
Correct. I think mostly what I was looking for is to put in the handbook that there is a policy on that and stipulate the actual policy in a separate document, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm just pointing out that there's a broader proper spending of public money issue, and so certainly there is a public purpose to helping someone get something that is required, but there's less of one if it's not required for the job, because otherwise any city employee could say, I'm interested in becoming certified, in diving, even though I'm a secretary, and so there's got to be some
Yeah.
job
No,
relation.
Laura's she's an executive assistant. Hers is a on-the-job training for her position. Is what hers is. Laura's. It's for an executive assistant.
So you're saying you hire somebody for a position that isn't qualified for that position?
No, she's qualified. She just wanted some extra learning in like minutes and English and stuff like that. Writing, third parties. in which we have that, it's like some permit clerks say might go get certified in that. But Robin had told us that day that she could do that.
All right.
For
And
that
all of
type,
this-
on-the-job training, on-the-job training. You can do
And-
on-the-job training.
And all of this is approved by the supervisor and then approved by Robin as well. So it's not like the employee is going to go out and say, I need this certification, and it's not going to be applicable to their position.
And do you already have a contract for people to pay back tuition?
Correct.
Okay, so probably you could just add language to that. I don't think there needs to be anything in the personnel policy about that. I mean, that's more just the pay and compensation plan,
Okay.
what benefits you have. We'll talk
Makes
about it
sense.
more, but as I sit here right now, I don't think anything needs to be in the personnel policy.
Okay. Just a separate policy. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, because,
Laura's-
that could change like budget year to budget year.
Right.
We've got resources, we don't have resources, and if you put it in personnel policy, it's sort of harder to be flexible. So maybe we could just put a sentence in the pay and classification chapter that the city manager may from time to time authorize certification training and may require repayment requirements if employees leave within periods of time. And then that one sentence sort of gives them the authority to,
Okay.
Is that-
I think that's fair.
is that good? Okay, I'll do that.
That's like with Laura's, I said to her, now, if you quit within a year now, you gotta pay it back. Of course, she's not planning on that. She's planning on getting old here.
Well, yeah, but you never know. I mean, that's the thing, is the employer spends money to make the employee more valuable and capable, and then they go and jump ship and go someplace that'll pay more money.
Yeah.
Since we have two members here, obviously you can't take action today, but had you had an opportunity to read the final edits of the personnel policy, and was there anything that was of a huge issue or problem? Because I was kind of hoping today would be the, okay, it looks good, let's go.
We'll schedule another meeting.
Assuming the clerk sent out what I sent her, so, yeah.
It- Yes, sir.
You can send Clara the dates that you're available as long as you don't copy everybody else.
I do want to thank you for your report. And seeing the materials about the effective local government, I did just want to mention something for, I don't know, the good of the order. So I was in Zimbabwe for a few weeks on that State Department grant, and the focus of all of the workshops and the curriculum that I was developing was to work with local elected officials and with local community-based organizations on improving transparency and openness in local government. And I have some pictures. I just did the Facebook posts, and I did tag the city of Madeira Beach because some of the websites, like I pulled up Pinellas County government, the city of St. Petersburg, and then what was happening with the gas plant district, and then I pulled up the Civil Service Commission because we were talking about public meetings, open meetings, having the agenda and the minutes available to people to inspect and be able to follow. So anyway, so the city of Madeira Beach was showcased in Zimbabwe. And Yeah, so as a model of effective and transparent
Pretty cool.
government. So, yeah, I guess I can put that link to I put it on the Center for Civic Engagement's website, Facebook page, so, and as I said, I did tag the city in one of the posts where you could see a picture on the slide of me pointing to the Civil Service Commission meeting recordings, so everyone is very impressed. Because they don't even have a right to request this information, so we're talking about how great it is to just have it there, so you don't have to be the person saying, can I have, the agenda, what you're planning to talk about at this meeting, and then make yourself like, well, why do you need to know that information? It's like, no, we all have it, it's up on the website, so. Anyway, I thought you might find that interesting, but I did I think I shared with them this website as well. I had a handout of like additional resources, so when I was looking at this practice for effective local government leadership, I was like, hey, I know this pie chart. So, yeah, I'll share that when I write back with some good August dates.
Sounds good.
And then I'll go over this again. I went over the one that was sent by email, but I like hard copies, so I'll look at this, and then hopefully that can be our final meeting. Commissioner, do you have any? So I guess now we should adjourn for lack of quorum. My stack just keeps getting bigger.
Thank you.